Oh, I'm addicted to Beat
Hey,
Saber.
Felix.
It's so good. I think I need to
Hey.
upgrade though. I have.
Hey, Felix.
The, oops.
What,
I have a Quest
what do you
and I
have?
want to Oculus Quest, and I think I want to do something a bit more robust.
Do you play Beat Saber with it? Can you play Beat
Yes.
Saber?
Oh yeah. Beat Saber is great on it. I want to do
really?
something. Yeah, it's actually really good for it. Especially because you don't have like the chords or anything. It's completely self-contained.
So maybe I should get my mom a Quest.
Hey, what's up?
It's a bit cheaper, that's for sure.
And it's not heavier? It's not like heavy?
I'm not sure how it relates to the other headsets in terms of weight, but it doesn't seem to be too heavy for me, no. I mean, maybe the first time I tried it on, I was like, oh, there's a little weight for it, but it's not bad, no.
And how long does it last?
I get about 2.5 to 3 hours out of a charge.
Oh,
but you can play it with the cord in too, so.
Yeah, why not have like a battery pack and use that with
maybe
it?
I should get her a Quest.
Yeah, that's
maybe
a good
I should
idea.
just get her a Quest and send it over.
Yeah.
Once I had to use my controllers with battery packs attached because it's built-in battery at the Vive. It was working, yeah. So it's an external battery pack with 2 USB ports, so fits perfectly.
Nice. Hey, that's awesome.
Yeah.
What a clever idea.
Like,
I never thought of it.
I wonder if there's a forum with old people who use VR.
Okay.
In their 70s.
So you ready to go, Sergey?
Maybe so.
Sure. Should I set my
we need an old version of
you can sit over there.
how it's called, Old Space. Oh, it's all Old Space with an O instead of an A, maybe.
How do I do that?
Then all avatars
so
are
you just
gray or
walk
something.
into
I
it.
don't know.
You know what to walk?
Old Space VR.
Yes.
I love it. Great.
Good job.
Yeah, you should fuck that, yeah.
Yep.
I think if I was
Like a
old,
pro.
I probably would not
there's no
want an
legs.
old avatar.
No.
It's in the old space.
Yeah,
Nobody has any legs. I didn't notice before.
Yeah, I'd probably want to be in the young
Yeah.
space VR.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, then do that, yeah.
Okay, so you can turn on your amplify voice thing, and I'll just start now.
Starting? Oh no, they just.
Yeah, I have always the feeling that's my last word.
Bad news, guys. We're starting.
Is it? Yeah.
All right. Good luck, guys. See you on the other side.
Woo! Okay. Yeah, hi. So, hello everyone. I'm Vitalik Buterin. I founded Ethereum, and this is Reckless VR. This is the I know what
I'm
number?
Udi Wertheimer. I co-founded Ethereum.
Hey, Udi, nice to meet you. And no, so I'm Udi, and this is Sergey, and it's great to see all of you. Again, we do those every weekend, so you can join us every Saturday. If this is the first time that you're here or the first time that you're watching the streams, then you should know that you can follow us, Reckless_VR on Twitter. There's the Telegram group, which is Reckless VR on Telegram. We have recklessvr.com when you can sign up with your email address and you'll get invites to these meetups every weekend. You don't need to have a VR headset to attend these meetups, so you can use your PC and just join us. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, so let's see. Okay, so today we have Sergei Kotliar. Kotliar, is that how you say your last name? Kotliar?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, I made it. And he's the CEO of Bitrefill. So it's really great to have you, Sergey. So thanks for coming. You've been in VR for a while.
Thanks for
right?
inviting me.
For sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, you kind of motivated me and a lot of other people to get VR with these
It's my
events.
fault.
Yeah,
That's good.
We even got VR for the whole company and did our summer retreat in VR for the whole company. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So
when was that?
Yeah.
When was
a
that?
couple of weeks ago. Yeah, I guess
Cool.
In June, maybe more than a month now. Yeah, it went surprisingly well.
Nice. Did you I don't know, did you play any multiplayer games together or just?
Mostly, actually, we were going to, but most of it ended up just being in alt space, hanging out, chatting, talking about more serious stuff and less serious stuff. And there were some games. There was you can play Cards Against Humanity. I think it's in Alt-based as well. It's pretty fun. We did some of that and some other games. It was good.
I mean, it's
did you
play basketball.
Sorry,
No.
I can, but I let my controller down for a second. Try again.
I'm trying for less time. Less time.
All right.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. No. Okay, forget it.
Tough pass. Fuck, man.
Hey, you can throw it back. I missed.
I don't see the ball. It's like
I know. I know.
You have okay. Never mind.
I can also do this.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
I wonder if
fine.
I can
I'll stop.
them.
I'll stop. Okay. Look,
No,
I think I suppose that pretty much almost everyone here knows. Wait. No.
I can take them from there.
That's a problem. I need to hide it better. Crap. Fine. So look, I think everyone here knows about Bitrefill, but do you want to tell us about it anyway? I don't know. Maybe someone doesn't know, which I find
well. I mean,
unlikely.
we're sure we're big picture. We're on a quest to, I guess, provide the whole suite of things for the self-sovereign individual to be able to live on crypto. In practice today, what it means is that you can buy gift cards for a lot of stuff in a lot of countries, and we're adding new countries all the time. You can also do refill of prepaid phones, which is common in certain countries, and other types of digital goods. So the goal is to be able to live your whole life on crypto, and that Bitrefill should let you do that as much as possible.
Right. So, okay. So one, this is pretty cool, and one of the cool things you can do with Bitrefill is buy Steam gift cards, right? Because we're all about buying VR games. Just saying. So I'm just throwing it out there.
We're working on Oculus, but don't have a specific time. I heard it exists.
They have gift cards?
I think so, but don't take it as a promise yet.
I see. Okay.
But if Oculus people are listening, we're right here.
Yeah.
Who knows?
If you're listening, I have some complaints too. But yeah. Okay, good. So look, a lot of like businesses in the Bitcoin space are focused more on things like speculation and long-term holding.
Right.
And
which is also
you guys have true, yes.
Okay.
True. And you guys are basically focused on spending and payments. So I mean, I don't know, when you look at data of like your users, do you have any idea on why people choose to buy gift cards with Bitcoin or with other coins, or like what are the reasons they're doing it as opposed to?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, I think for the vast majority, it's because they're looking to buy some stuff with their coins. Yeah, right. And so this is either because their income is in crypto, which you'd be surprised. There's a decent amount of people worldwide that have that already, either as a regular salary or a consulting fee, but also like, earning different referral fees, or participating in different types of crypto schemes and this and that, receiving remittances. So there are people that have crypto income. There's also people that just bought crypto when it was worth less, and now they're feeling crypto rich. And there's very relative definitions of it. Like, a lot of people, they put in $100 and it doubled, and now they have $200 and they're feeling crypto rich, right? Like for a old timer like you, that's not very impressive, but for a lot of people, that's enough for them to go shopping. Yeah.
Well, I'm an old timer. I bought my Bitcoin on when was it? December 2017. Yeah, it's $19,000.
So you're soon gonna be in the money.
Hopefully.
Hey, but Bitcoin and not Ethereum.
I mean, it's a long time ago. It's almost 3 years ago.
That's true. That's true. It's weird
Yeah.
that is 3 years ago. Like looking back at those tweets, yeah, long time,
Yeah.
but it feels like a short time.
So I'm not really into buying gift cards with my Bitcoins just yet because I feel crypto poor. But
Right. That's fair.
But yeah.
Well, maybe you
So
need a
people
job.
feel. Well, I guess. So I should have added a job when it was $3,000. When was that? That was not that long
Yeah,
ago.
well.
In March, that would have been a good time. But yeah, no, I bought in December 2017, and I sold it on March. I gave up.
Right. Fair enough.
So now,
Left the
so
space.
now I'm crypto flat.
Makes
Anyways,
sense.
this isn't about me. So, okay, so it's people who feel like they became rich. Well,
not only like I think a big chunk of it varies. Like when crypto goes up, we have more of the crypto hodlers as customers. Yeah, but during regular times, when there is no particular movement, then it's people that have their income in crypto. And so the benefits is that it's usually it's faster. Like you click and you're done, and you can get your stuff. It's better from a privacy perspective because you're not we're not a financial service. We're like a Walgreens in the cloud selling gift cards. So we have less requirements on us. You don't need to sign up for an account, for example. You can just buy straight from the website and pay with Bitcoin. And there's certain price benefits because compared to selling on an exchange or using like a crypto debit card or something like that, you don't pay any extra fees, because we get paid from the gift card brands. So we still make money, but the customer feels like they're not paying it.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, so it can be even cheaper to pay that way.
Right.
Yeah. So you told me once that you have a lot of interesting data on a bunch of stuff, like I don't know, like I think you said you have a good idea on what kind of wallets people use, like what are popular wallets that people use. So can you tell us more about that?
Well, we did. I don't have fresh data on that, but a year ago we did a survey of where we asked people, and there's always, I guess, certain selection biases and whatnot. But the absolute biggest wallet is blockchain.info. And the distant second is Coinbase, and then there's Gap, and then there's everybody else. And I guess from the research that happened by a pseudonymous developer that sometimes does projects with us called 0xB10C, he analyzed and saw that 30% of all transactions are actually coming from blockchain.info. So that backs up this strange, I think, for the Bitcoin Twitter crowd fact that in fact the most, by far most popular wallet, and definitely the most popular non-custodial wallet, is blockchain wallet, which doesn't support SegWit and all of those things that we've heard since I guess 2017. They're still true, but nonetheless, it is the biggest wallet in terms of people that actually are using it to make transactions,
to spend. Yeah.
Well, to do or to receive or whatever.
Right. Well, it's hard to tell who receives, like which wallet you used to receive. Well, yeah, I see what you mean.
Well, you just assume that it's equal amounts. Ballpark.
Yeah, that's very interesting. So you're saying that research shows that around 30% of all transactions on Bitcoin are made.
Well, this is on the network. Yeah.
Info.
Out of our figures, we saw this was a year ago. Then it was like 16% of our customers said that they're using the blockchain wallet. And that's not so strange. Like if you search for Bitcoin wallet on the App Store or what have you, it's the one that comes up. Yeah, and there's a couple of them, but for example, I mean, and this is one of those things that that I think It's part of why I keep saying to people that like Twitter is fun for an exchange of ideas, because the smart people are there, but it is not, or well, interesting people are there, let's say. But it doesn't paint an accurate necessarily picture of all of the people, not in crypto and not in Bitcoin, no matter how you slice it.
True. Yeah, not in anything probably, but yeah, that's very true.
Well, it's a subgroup. I mean, for one thing is that like you only have English speaking people on Twitter, so you're missing out on like all of the stuff that's happening in China, in Korea, like which is probably more than in the Western world, and we're kind of oblivious to what's going on, and we just sometimes see that like, oh, suddenly a bunch of transactions are on the chain and we don't know why, but it was something that happened in China.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. And a lot, I don't know, it's maybe anecdotal, but a lot of people who, like certainly before we had like hardware wallets, then I think that blockchain.info was probably the top recommended wallet. So if you had someone who bought Bitcoins or whatever many years ago, then they probably used blockchain.info and then forgot about it. You know, they're not active members of the community, they just bought Bitcoins.
Sure. No, I mean,
And
the
then one day they
self-reported
want to spend
wallets
it.
number is larger. The report to have more wallets than there is UTXOs on the Bitcoin network, right? So it's clearly that like that number is not necessarily true, but both things can be true at once. That they're self-reporting a massively inflated figure, but also that they're still the biggest one.
Yeah.
It's kind of
that's
weird.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I mean, a lot of people who there are a lot of people who are very active and loud, but the people who are not loud, which is probably the majority of people, it makes sense that they would still use blockchain.info because why not? You know, they used it many years ago, and they don't care about the drama. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, there's people that let's say that care about Bitcoin or maybe love Bitcoin in a sense, right? And this is the people that we see here that show up on their Saturday to listen to some dudes talk about it in VR. Yeah, but then there's people that use Bitcoin as a tool, right? And a similar way, like you and I might, I don't know, I might use BitTorrent to download a Linux distro, right? I don't know which BitTorrent client is the best one. I don't know what technical difficulties or discussions they're having in the BitTorrent community and so on. And I don't really care if it's the best one as long as it gets the job done. And it's seems like it's not going to steal my money or in terms of Bitcoin, but in terms of whatever, it's not going to really get me viruses, and then it's good enough, and it's a tool. I think that, and I also think that like in a big picture, like we can't have 10 billion people in the world like care passionately about Bitcoin. We need people to use Bitcoin for all of the different things that it brings them. But like realistically, most people are going to be seeing it as a tool, and like in some ways, like the really early Bitcoiners, like the 2011 crowd, that came in because they were buying on the Silk Road, like they didn't care about Bitcoin; they used it as a tool, right? And so they kind of had a certain mindset with it as well, which still remains, but in some subsets of the community.
Those are good points. You can see how it affects like the atmosphere, I guess, in discussions over time, like what kind of people use Bitcoin for what. So I'm curious with companies that use Bitcoin. I'm always curious about things like support requests, support tickets, if people like complain about or having difficulties with using Bitcoin, or do you get like, are there issues that keep coming up in support tickets with Bitcoin or with Lightning or with other coins or with whatever? Is it just pretty simple for people?
Well, I mean, I mean, it's still the usual stuff. Like my transaction isn't confirming. Why not? Like, that is the by far biggest issue, and there's no good solution. And trust me, we've tried a lot of stuff. We display a certain fee rate. We accept zero conf under certain circumstances. We do a lot of things to avoid people getting stuck in that, but sometimes it happens, and people don't understand. Like, hey, I can choose what fee I pay. Well, I'm going to choose the cheapest one. That makes sense. Right? I mean, that's perfectly reasonable. Again, from like, I don't really know what I'm doing here perspective. And then my coins are stuck, and like now they can be stuck for a week, and so on, and they reach out, and so that's still the biggest issue by a long shot, and has been from the start. We've gotten better at dealing with it, but it's still like the absolute biggest one, and I mean, Lightning fixes that and fixes a bunch of other things. So like from our perspective, we're super happy about people using Lightning. Like there's very few issues with Lightning. Like sometimes transactions fail. Like I don't have a route to you, but lately it's been very rare as well, because most people use wallets that kind of set up those things for you, either if they're custodial wallets or that there's like the Async wallets or Breeze wallets or something like that sets up a channel to their own intermediary node, and then it just works. So the number of complaints there is relatively low. Number of payments is going up, but it's still a minority. Like we still have the bulk of our customers paying with regular on-chain bitcoins.
Yeah, that makes sense. So do you think that Lightning works easier for people these days because those new wallets are just better, like with managing channels? Or maybe you think that, I don't know, maybe users of Lightning are more technical because otherwise they wouldn't be trying it, so they have less issues.
Too, but it pulls you into a better, well, I guess less problem-causing modes. Right. I mean, it's still probably that the majority of Lightning users use the Blue Wallet and Wallet of Satoshi, which are custodial wallets. But we don't see the problems with that. Like there's other problems with setup like that, obviously, but that doesn't necessarily cause trouble for us. On the contrary, like if they have an issue, then we ping them and say, guys, fix your channels.
Right.
And then it's back. We can't really do that with regular on-chain. But then on the other hand, it's more decentralized also, and it kind of goes with that, like the trade-offs between efficiency and decentralizations.
Yeah, that makes sense. So other than accepting Lightning payments, you're also, like, Bitrefill is also offering some Lightning related tools, I guess more for merchants or advanced users, like Thor and Turbo channels. You want to tell us a bit about that?
Sure. It's I mean, at this point, it's those things are close to a year old. It's services for specifically for getting a channel open to you. So if you start out on Lightning and you're just a dude with a mobile phone, and probably like the way Lightning works is that nobody's incentivized to open a channel to some rando with a mobile phone. Not even us. But so we created this as a paid service so that we don't get it, so that it doesn't get abused, because it locks up capital, and so there needs to be a certain cost associated, and so you pay for that through the regular Bitrefill flow, and you get a channel from us, and then that channel is then opened with the Bitrefill node, which is very well connected, and like a high quality, and then it's like a Lightning. It's similar way to how ISP works, right? So you can connect to the internet yourself, but you don't probably know where the internet hubs are. So you order an ISP that provides this for you, and it pulls cables to your house or a mobile connection or what have you, right? And so a similar way you get guaranteed good connection to the network. But this is new stuff that is weird and unusual, and it's still like it's not clear what kind of a is it financial service? Is it a utility service? What is it? And so on. There's a lot of interesting philosophical questions of what is a channel opening service.
Yeah, that's interesting. So this is something that maybe could, I mean, it's still for advanced users because you have to know what's going on, but maybe that's something that wallets can provide automatically to users.
So we're seeing lately a lot of those ideas are showing up in wallets. So Breeze Wallet is doing that, and they're trying to build a marketplace for Lightning service providers. I understand that Lightning Labs is building something in that direction as well. We see that the Phoenix wallet by Asank is using a technology that is similar to what we did with the turbo channels and so on. So like these things are getting out there and in much better and fancier versions than what we built. And but we have some new stuff coming up as well in that area, and hope to continue building utilities for specifically for the people that live on crypto.
Yeah, that's cool. So you mentioned, I mean, we have those wallets that are more, I guess, like managed Lightning wallets, right? Like those new ones. But you also have the really custodial wallets, like Blue and Satoshi's wallet, it's called, right? That you mentioned that many people are using. So I guess, a lot of people in Bitcoin, or maybe I should say in the loud Twitter communities and Reddit and so on, are not huge fans of custodial wallets. And I mean, do you think they're missing something when when people are really almost attacking, I guess, custodial wallets?
I wouldn't say that they're maybe missing something, but I think that there is this. We've gotten to this weird understanding of this custodial concept, which is like it's a financial term, first of all. That means something very, very irrelevant in the financial world that got adapted into crypto by the Coin Center. In part, it was around the time of the creation of BitGo when they wanted to establish that multisig is not a custodian. And so they kind of decided that, hey, we're going to argue that multisig is not custodial, and if you don't have all the keys, then it's not custodial, and all of those things. But custodial is a very relative term. Something like the Blue wallets, Lightning wallet is pretty clearly custodial, but it's become a weird hang-up because people think that if it's not custodial, then it's first of all that it's safe from regulation, which is like, I don't know. The Pirate Bay wasn't custodial, if you go for that.
Right.
And they went to jail. So, like, I don't know. I think I've been going back and forth on whether it's good line that we've drawn as a community. I think that that's what it is that the Bitcoiners have like drawn a line in the sand for the regulator saying like up to here, but no further. Like you can't go past here, and that this line is when you're holding the keys. But even then, it becomes like philosophical, like we discussed in Telegram. Like when we open a turbo channel, it's a unconfirmed transaction. And is an unconfirmed transaction custodial, for example? Right. And for whom? And does that depend on whether that transaction has RBF set or not? Right? Because if it has RBF, then maybe they can take the money back. Which is kind of has to do with the custody concept. If it doesn't have RBF, that's a widely disputed question. People like me would say that it's not so easy to take it back, but many people on Twitter are going to say it's super easy. They just choose to never do that when people get hacked or scammed. Like the Twitter hackers, where the funds were lying there in the mempool for like a day, and none of these benevolent people helped the poor suckers that got their funds lost. No, but like if you look at like the financial regulation, it's like if people can steal your money or if they can prevent you from sending your coins, right? But if you look from that perspective, then okay, but anything that came from the Apple App Store or from the Google Play Store, it's probably not probably custodial by definition, because they can push an update and steal your coins, I guess. Or you could argue that at least. What was I gonna say? And they can, like, maybe not hard prevent you, but they can soft prevent you. And there's different, like, there's a lot of intermediary services, like the hosted channels that are an option in the Bitcoin Lightning wallet, for example, which is a channel that is custodial in the holding key sense, but it's not custodial in the sense that it can't prevent you from sending a transaction. So it can't censor you because it doesn't know where you're sending the funds to, because it speaks Lightning and has all of the encryption of Lightning. And it's so it has that, and you have proof in the wallet that the host owes you a certain amount of money, and so on. And there's like these interesting trade-offs in the middle where we have no idea, right? And we have no idea, like, is it Tether custodial, and does it depend on which network it is? Is an Ether custodial? Like, it gets philosophical, right? Because it's a measure of decentralization, and we all agree that we want more of decentralization when it exists. That's a common thing that we all have in the community. But I wonder, like, we've drawn this line in the sand for the regulators. No regulators have, like, well, actually, I saw once in the latest about Wasabi wallet, they said that it is non-custodial, and so therefore we can't touch it. But I also wonder how long that will apply for necessarily.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. Yeah.
Sorry, interesting philosophical. What do you think about this?
I liked what you say about the kind of mobile wallets that are, that they get automatically updated, because it's, I mean, for most people who use wallets on mobile, it's true. They will they can update automatically. You wouldn't even know. You start the wallet, maybe it has a completely different code now, and people can just use that to take your coins. Either the developer turns evil, or maybe someone steals their keys or certificates or whatever, and they get to update the code. That's interesting. So you kind of say, oh, I only want self custody, but like there are a lot of levels to this, right? So
and
are you not
think
gonna
that we
update
should
your
have
phone, your computer? How's that gonna work?
Right.
And you can go to the extreme. You can say, okay, I'm going to build my own computer, and I'm going to only use Bitcoin Core, and I'm going to build it from source, and I'm only going to upgrade once in a few years, and I'm going to be... So you can do that, but most of us don't do that.
You generate the wallet with dice. Like, you got to have dice. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
If you're not rolling your own dice, like, are you even...
Yeah. And you're trusting, like, when you get, I don't know, when you have a hardware wallet, and you're trusting the service provider for the updates that they give you,
right.
If you don't build them yourself, which I guess probably most people don't.
Or how about this? In the shitcoin world, it's common to have wallets that are non-custodial but not open source.
Right. Yeah.
There's a bunch of those wallets as well. And so is a wallet that's not open source, is that custodial or not? I don't know. It's not clear. It says that you have your own keys, but I don't know. I have my poem, but nobody probably bothered to check. And even if the poem is valid, the seed phrase, but maybe they have a copy of it. I don't know that. So maybe they can steal my coins. How would I know?
True. I don't have answers to those questions. I don't know. I mean, I used to, I used to recommend to people to not use closed source wallets, but then, I mean, okay, fine. But then for some coins, they don't have a choice. And also they usually have better UX and stuff. I can see why people use them. So,
right. Yeah, like there would be something to have a bigger discussion of. I think I don't know. On the other hand, we probably all agree that more more decentralized, more self-custody is probably better as a direction, and that in the end, then yeah, you probably should use your own self-diced paper wallet on a
I mean,
what's it called, the Glacier protocol custom laptop that has never been online. Like,
I mean, if you're doing it right, I guess, but that's a big if. Like, it's much easier to make mistakes that way. And like, let's say you put your coins on Binance. I don't know. I know that Binance are they're very loud about. They think that it's safer to keep coins on Binance than keeping them on your own, unless you're very professional about it. Which is, I don't know, but I can get the viewpoint. Like, it's probably easier for people to choose a good password and have a good two-factor authentication. And then if Binance gets hacked, then so far, whenever they got hacked, they paid the users back.
Right.
So,
well, it depends on how badly they get hacked.
Sure.
They're insanely profitable, but
of course. But I mean, but then again, if you keep, if you have a hardware wallet and you don't know how to use it well, and you didn't keep a backup, or maybe you kept a backup, but you didn't check it, and it turns out that you didn't do it correctly or whatever, then that can be very costly. And I've heard of way more people who said, came to me and said, I lost my coins because I forgot my keys, because I lost my backup, because whatever, than people who lost them to an exchange. That happened too. I'm not saying it never happened. It happened a lot, of course, but seems to not be the most dangerous thing.
Maybe we can introduce another factor here, is that if we look at things that like I guess stable coins, for example, where it's pretty clear that you have a certain custody risk with regards to the issuer and the stable coin, but it seems like a lot of people think that risk is acceptable for the benefit of avoiding the volatility of Bitcoin, which is also like observation that we can make from what users are actually doing with it. Not saying that it's good or desirable. I'm just
good
observing.
or bad. That's what some people seem to do. That's true. And I mean, you still get some, even if everyone uses custodial wallets, you still have, well, obviously it's not going to be everyone, but even if a lot of people use custodial wallets, you still get some benefits because anyone can be a custodial wallet, right? So that's a big benefit over, I guess, the old financial system, the traditional financial system. So everyone can do it. You can do it while being anonymous if you want. I don't know how people are going to trust you, but you could start a custodian without revealing who you are. So not necessarily.
Exactly. I mean, email is a good example of that. I think I would say that let's try to not reach the level of centralization in email, but still, given that most people use Gmail, Outlook, and Yahoo, and so on. But you can still email from those to somebody who runs the mail server themselves, or somebody who's using one of those privacy-minded Proton mails and so on. So there is still interoperability, which is different from if you look at like instance messaging world, where you can't send a message from Facebook Messenger, Telegram, for example.
Although if you tried to set up your own mail server, then you probably know that Gmail is actually pretty aggressive on censoring emails from domains that they don't know. So if you there is an issue there. Like you
and there's something similar
domain names
with
have reputation
Lightning.
and true, I guess.
In that you don't want random people just opening channels to you necessarily. You want to make sure that it's somebody who knows a little bit what they're doing, and so that creates a certain centralization pressure. Because if it's another company opening a channel, then that's great. But if it's somebody on their Android phone, they're going to be offline 99% of the time, and they buy one gift card once, and then the money is locked up there for a year. That's not great.
True. Yeah, those are good points. I don't know. I don't have a solution. I mean,
yeah, me neither. It's easy to ask questions. That's what we're doing here.
Yeah. Asking questions is easy. That's true. But it's, I mean, I can see why, because, there's this very aggressive line of saying, no, you have to use a non-custodial wallet. You have to maybe use your node. You have to use, and all those things are great. I mean, if the person that you're talking to is capable of doing that without messing things up, then
Right.
sure, that's great. But it requires a lot of time and it requires a lot of skill. I mean, it does require skill. I mean, people like to say that it's easy. Well, it's easy to get the backup for your keys, but it's not, it's not super intuitive. So sure, it's easy to take a piece of paper and write down some words, but it's not very intuitive why you're doing it and how you should keep it safe and why. And so that's why people make mistakes, because they don't understand what they're doing. Yeah.
And I guess a lot of times Bitcoins are also like, let's say that example for us is somebody we want to test out. Okay, we want to find out what is this latest hype coin, and we want to buy $5 of it, keep it in the wallet. Right, that happens, and then we're usually even relatively skilled people who probably not put that much care into backing up that little wallet, and then eventually that $5 maybe becomes $100 and you want to sell it, and then you realize that you lost that wallet. And a lot of people see Bitcoin in the same way. That hey, my crazy buddy Udi insisted on paying me back for lunch in Bitcoin, and now I have $10 in this wallet that he recommended. It's obscure and hard to use, and then I upgraded my phone, and I lost the password, and oops. And then those $10 are now worth $1,000, and I could really use those money.
Yeah. I got a lot of stories like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. I don't know. I think I should get sometime some of the more hardliner people to show up here for because that would be interesting to see like the counterpoints to that, because I would assume, because people say, well, not everyone says, but some people say like, well, if it's too hard for you to keep it back up, then maybe Bitcoin is not for you. Maybe you shouldn't use it. Which I assume that you're not going to agree with that position, probably.
Right. Well, I mean, Bitcoin is a lot of things, and like Bitcoin is a bundle of lots of stuff. Right. I mean, Bitcoin is a bundle of. It has privacy. It has censorship resistance. It has the whole sound money thing. I don't know how to do like air quotes with VR hands. Does that work? Right. Sound money. Yeah, like this. Single quotes.
Yeah.
Right. Sound money. Right. No, but that it's its own currency, right, and all of that, and all of these things are like different people use them for different things. And we all like. There's lots of people that if you go on Twitter, they will say, "Hey, just buy your Bitcoins and put them in the coldest of wallets and never use them ever, and let your great grandchildren also not use them. Just know that they keep it in the family vault." Right? I mean, there's people with that view, and that's fine, right? They're using the store of value features and the speculative different sound money currency, which is great. But other people use it for other things, and I think that it's a very weird thing that we've landed in lately in Twitter, where there's a lot of moralizing. That this particular feature of Bitcoin, it is good and you should use it. That particular feature of Bitcoin, that is evil. You must not use it. Sometimes it even goes like into specific technical features, like RBF stuff like that, where people can be very religious and you absolutely should not ever accept an unconfirmed transaction, stuff like that. Where it's like, okay, yeah, sure, you can have that opinion, but we've been doing that for a long while with no issues, and maybe that's okay.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of morality issues lately. Yeah. I know. Some people say that it's immoral to short Bitcoin or immoral to be leveraged long on Bitcoin, or there are all kind of immoral things, and they contradict each other too. So you can never be like fully moral, fully. Yeah, it's difficult.
And then these moralities also coincide with other things. Like, for example, certain use cases of Bitcoin correspond to certain foods. That's also interesting, right? So you're supposed to eat certain things if you use Bitcoin in a certain way, but if you use Bitcoin a different way, then you can suddenly eat other things.
I like to believe that the food thing is mostly a joke, although I think that some people don't see it as a joke.
These things start as a joke, but I mean, that's how...
yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I take no responsibility for that. Sorry. I don't know. Moving on. So look, there's lately there are a lot of interesting like open source projects that are being funded more, and they're being developed in faster pace than in the past. A lot of them around like payment stuff, merchant stuff, Lightning, BTC Pay Server, a lot of those kind of things caught a lot of speed recently. So are there any interesting open source projects that you are looking at that you find like interesting?
Well, I mean, I think BTC Pay Server is really cool. It's like seeing them as a team hang out, and it seems like they're very both productive and building lots of stuff, and have built a very useful thing. Yeah, they have this weird obsession with BitPay, which I guess has to do with their creation story. But it's very weird where they're like trying to defeat BitPay, and like BitPay doesn't need defeating. Like, it's like just let them be, man. But other than that, I mean, I think it's really like it's inspiring how that project has grown in a very grassrootsy way. I also think that like in the Lightning space, I'm really impressed with the gang around the LNURL project that are building. Like LNURL started, it was like when we built Thor together with the Bitcoin Lightning wallet. We created the first version of LNURL just to set up Thor channels, and then there's a community sprung up that just took it and like built a whole bunch of stuff for like a QR code based interchange with servers, which turns out is massively useful and very intuitive in a lot of ways. Yeah.
Do you want to introduce that maybe, like what LNURL does, what problems it solves?
Well, so LNURL is basically a protocol for scanning a QR code and then your wallet. So your wallet scans a QR code, which Bitcoiners know, and in that QR code is information about like call this web server with this information, and then it does stuff. And so, for example, one of the cool things there is LNURL auth. So it's a way to log in. There's services like LN Markets that have that as one of their main ways to get an account. And so the idea is instead of you doing this whole select a password and username, song and dance, you scan a QR code and then it signs with your private key in your Lightning wallet and you're logged in. And as long as you have your Lightning wallet backed up, which hopefully you do, but you know, but there's incentives to have it backed up, monetary incentives. So hopefully you're not going to lose your password, and it's not one more thing, and it's like super convenient. There's also like LNURL withdraw, so you can claim money from a QR code. Like usually we're used to in Bitcoin to scan a QR code to pay to the QR code. But in this case you can like this, you take from the QR code, right? You scan it to take the money that's there, which is also like very useful in a lot of ways, and it allows for interesting things like you can print a gift card for a Bitcoin on a piece of paper, and you can scan that to take the Bitcoins. You can also scan it to validate that it's still hasn't been robbed and so on. Like, there's a lot of the cool stuff, and it's very simple. Like the whole thing is like literally a QR code and some HTTP, but it's cool how it has worked. It has grown from like in the Lightning world. There's the three big Lightning companies. There's Lightning Labs and the blockchain, Blockstream, and Asank. And there's some other companies there as well, and they have the Bolt process. and it's already become a little bit like the W3C, where they sometimes get stuck in a childish argument about some variable and there's no progress for many months. Whereas this is like a couple of guys that just took a thing, built it out, and it's kind of useful. It's going to be interesting to see like where that takes off, and like, if that's going to be standardized into bolts or not, or if they're going to build their own thing. So
yeah, it is
kind
a
of
cool
like
project.
for me, I've always been a fan of like less standardization and discussing and more building something and seeing if it's even useful at all. Yeah, and I think that the LNURL thing is very clearly useful. Someone's clapping.
Right. Where's it implemented?
Yeah, well, a lot of stuff. There's different, like on Bitrefill, I guess if you have a Bitrefill Lightning account, if I can plug it, then you can have a LNURL. And so, for example, if you have somebody who pays you regularly, you can just send them your LNURL, and then they can just whenever they want to pay, they can pay to that, right? So you can actually reuse the same address. But without the privacy losing properties that you would have when you reuse a regular Bitcoin address. Right. So you can set it and forget it.
Right. Yeah, that's cool. Cool. Okay. So I feel comfortable moving over to a bit of shitcoin discussion.
Let's do it.
at this
I was
point.
gonna ask, are you chicken or?
So look, let's start with
people are happy about the shitcoins.
Yeah. It's always fun to talk about shitcoins. So
angry emojis also from MZ. Sorry about the shitcoins.
So the angry emojis are a good point, because a lot of times you have a service that adds shitcoins and then people get angry for some reason, even though they shouldn't care because it's not their problem. So what obviously Bitrefill supports coins that are in Bitcoin. So what do you say to people who say, oh, it's evil to support shitcoins on your app or service or whatever?
Well, it's to be honest, I don't have a clear answer to that question. A little bit like the custody question. It's pretty clear that even though we don't like to admit it, the primary use case of Bitcoin is speculative. And the speculation goes down into two categories. The one is hodling of Bitcoins, and the other one is buying of shitcoins. Right? And so everything else is like distant. And if we look at like on-chain activity, what people actually do with their coins, I mean, like there's a reason why Binance is a massively bigger company than Bitrefill is, right? It's like people don't come here to a lot of people. The desire to get rich from the speculative mania is a very strong driver, and so we see these things take off all the time. On the other hand, if you, as a company, like the crypto space is a trust-based field, and so if you decide to associate yourself with a certain coin, there is a certain reputational association that happens there, which can be problematic because if you're suddenly just hey, I will integrate anything, then you're kind of lending credibility to a lot of projects that may be scams. But it gets tricky because when customers show up and say, hey, why don't you accept this coin, we really like to pay with it, and like you kind of filter out the people that actually work for that coin, but after that you eventually notice that okay, but there is a certain community around a certain coin there, and like it's tough. Like what should we say? That hey, you shouldn't shitcoin? Well, they shouldn't. but part of like the main absolute, we should all agree, like the main feature of Bitcoin is that we can do whatever the fuck you want with it, right? And so and it seems like what people actually want to do with it is to shitcoin. And we probably shouldn't encourage that. I think we all kind of agree that we shouldn't encourage it. But given that it is so massive, and that also like it's a competitive landscape. So everybody has competitors, and so if a certain shitcoin grows popular and your competitors accept it, then that means that they have an advantage over you, maybe,
right?
Potentially, right? And so then it starts having a cost to the like the I guess responsible stance of not promoting it. And like we've been very selective with when we've added coins. Like the last one we did was like 2 or 3 years ago, and it was Dogecoin, and it was for an April's Fool's. Dogecoin is surprisingly well used. Like people don't know this, but Dogecoin in terms of transactions per day, Dogecoin is like number 7 of the cryptos. Maybe further down now that there are a couple of stable coins have grown. Yeah, but it's definitely like top 10. Yeah, and so like for us, we have this rule that like with coins that do less transactions per day than Dogecoin, we're probably not going to even investigate that. But that's also not like it's not the sturdiest rule. And eventually we see things like I guess like Tron or what have you, like that they are weak on decentralization,
Right.
but people use it, and it ends up being the same discussion as with the custodial and non-custodial. Is that yes, we agree that more decentralization is better, and so the less decentralized coins are worse. Sometimes this lesser decentralization also gives them certain performance benefits because centralization means efficiency usually, right? And so and so it's part of like I don't know. I sometimes think about a world in which like Bitcoin is successful, like it's the dominant world currency, and in that world we definitely can stop people from creating shitcoins. Like we have financial liberty, so people can do whatever they want. Yeah, so definitely they can create shitcoins. And if they can't create shitcoins, then probably some of them are going to be popular. Like it's part of I think that maybe that we in the Bitcoin community sort of we're upset because we gave people freedom and they choose the people the early Bitcoin developers or I guess people build for Bitcoin have participated in building it. We gave people freedom, and what is that people choose to do with this freedom? They choose to scam each other, basically, and then build different types of ecosystems around it, right? And it's curious that it's like that, and I don't know how to. I mean, I'm also. It's an open question. It's easier to ask questions than to provide answers. I'd be happy to discuss with the audience after. After the session.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. I think that whatever, like it's if you're running a business, and I think this is the most important point in my view. Like you're running a business, if you're not going to let those people, if you're not going to service those people, then someone else will, and then you lost business, and then it costs you. So why should you put those arbitrary moral ideas in front of taking care of the business that you're running, right? Because that's very moral too. Like if you have a business, you're employing people, that's very moral to take care of them, So and it's probably more important than arbitrary morals of other people. So I think it makes a lot of sense. Sure, and I mean, sure, it's possible those people will lose their money, but it's not your fault. I mean, you didn't force them, right, to use those coins. The same is true for exchanges, by the way.
It's much more true for exchanges.
Yeah.
Exchanges, I mean, to be honest, I think that we will end up in a world in which crypto as a whole will be considered a type of gambling. Like it kind of looks same as like penny stocks are considered to be a type of gambling, or prediction markets, or some religious Christians consider insurance to be gambling. Like if insurance is gambling, then crypto is definitely gambling.
Yeah. I mean, I think for many people, they already consider they're gambling, right? But yeah, it seems to go in that direction, and a lot of exchanges really operate like casinos these days. So,
well, I mean, Binance is probably one of the fastest growing companies in history. And they did everything the opposite of the Bitcoin maximalist playbook. Right? They had a big ICO, then they launched a bunch of shitcoins, and but they managed to build up a certain reputation, trust in the brand, and
it exploded very fast. Yeah. Okay, so I guess maybe last thing about shitcoins, or almost last. Let's see. Well, if there's shitcoins, then one very famous shitcoin is the US dollar, and I recently saw that you guys started having this feature of US dollar balances, I think, on Bitrefill, which means, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it means that you can deposit in Bitcoin or whatever, and then you convert it to dollars, and it just stays on your account, which is custodial, by the way. Sorry.
Yes. Well, it's not even that. It's a prepaid balance that you can only use to buy gift cards.
I miss. That's true. Yeah. So, what's the rationale behind that? Like, is that new, by the way? I think I just noticed it, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's relatively new. And I guess in part of it is from observing how people actually are using crypto, and the growth of stable coins is part of that, but it's not the whole story, because we've had services like RTM and Uphold that have offered different types of use crypto for the transacting, but keep the value in USD, which is a model that I think the first to do this was a company called Coinapult. In the early more than 6-7 years ago now. And the benefit, I mean, again, for people that live on crypto, or for people that use crypto without many people want to use Bitcoin for the other parts of Bitcoin, which is the censorship resistant, permissionless, and so on, but they don't necessarily want to bet on the sound money of the future world, especially not with their monthly paycheck, for example.
Right.
And so this way you can keep your balance in USDs, and it's I mean, security model wise, it's the same as you would have for something like Tether, right? You trust a company to treat your money in a good way, but you obviously can't control it. But it's a way for letting people do that. And so that, if I can plug it back with something like LNURL, for example, creates a world in which you can get your LNURL for Bitrefill USD account. You can plug it into the service where you're earning sats, and whenever sats arrive, they get instantly converted into USD and held in USD on your balance, if you so prefer.
Right. Makes sense.
But I think it's very interesting to see the USD as a shitcoin. Because I think that shitcoins are fiat currencies, and fiat currencies are shitcoins, and USD is the biggest one. And it's also interesting how it's part of the ethos. There's a lot of companies, I'm not going to name names, they're like, we would never do anything involving a shitcoin. And then they're like, but here's look at our top 10 integrations for USD.
Yeah.
It's curious. And it's all of the Bitcoin is like, yay, that's great. No shitcoins. Like, no, sure. Yeah. And like, hey, it's our partnership with I don't know, American Express.
True. Yeah. It's a shitcoin. Yeah. So I mean, are you accepting also stable coins, by the way, or no?
We're not right now. We're looking into it. Because I think that there is I mean, the rise of Ethereum, it seems that people use it. It's still not exactly clear what kind of people use it for what kind of things, but it seems like it is being used. You can't we can't deny that.
Yeah.
But it's tricky because there's a question here also. It's tricky because right
you can
now
ask
the
it soon.
Ethereum world.
It just wants you to stop. Just stop talking about Ethereum. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
It seems like the Ethereum world is in a very similar place to what Bitcoin was in 2017, when the people notice, hey, you actually can't do infinite amounts of transaction on this decentralized, however amount decentralized Ethereum is network, right? And then the transaction fees and probably going to be drama and so on. It's a little bit. It's tough to know, like, where will and you've made good points about, you could run your own private blockchain for a stablecoin, and probably that makes the most sense. But we haven't seen that happening much
for
yet.
Stable coins, yeah.
And so where is the stablecoin usage going to go? Is Ethereum going to build up layer 2 solutions for stablecoins in time before the drama? Well, observing from the learnings from Bitcoin, and then the answer is probably no. Like, it's taken us from the very painful 2017, and 3 years later, everybody tried to build Lightning. We have Lightning, but it's still a small fraction of the on-chain transactions, and we're still begging exchanges to integrate it. And so thinking that Ethereum is going to have layer 2 solutions integrated into exchanges anytime soon is probably also not realistic. But might be wrong.
Yeah.
So the question is, where is the stablecoins traffic is going to go? And then I ask my expert Ethereum co-founder Udi, and he recommends Tron.
I mean, look, it's funny, but if you look at the transfer volume of USDT right now, then it has like I don't know, probably around 70 to 80% on Ethereum, and maybe about 5% on Omni Bitcoin, which is where it was popular before, and the rest, which is about 15% plus, is on Tron. So Tron is number 2.
Right.
It's more popular than Omni, which is where all the USD traffic used to be on Omni just, I don't know, less than 2 years ago. I think even a year ago, if I remember correctly. So not a year and a half. So that's almost disappeared. Tron is bigger than that. And it's like Tron is awful, right? It's super centralized. The coin itself is ridiculous. I don't know why people use it, but some people do. But it's a private, it's a database. It's a private database. It's fast because it's just, it's just a fast database, and it has the same APIs as Ethereum because it's just an Ethereum fork. So it's very easy for exchanges to implement it. So that's what they did. A lot of exchanges support USDT on Tron right now because it's super easy for them to implement it because they already support it on Ethereum. So it's fast, it's free, why not? So some people use it, but like 15% is a lot. 15% of the volume, not the transactions of the. But yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do with the layer 2 thing. It just sounds weird. Like, why would you need an Ethereum layer 2 for USDT? You don't. Why would you care if it's a layer 2 of Ethereum or something else? You shouldn't care.
Maybe you wouldn't probably, but the question is an open question. What is this something else? Like I mean, Liquid had a chance, but I don't know. I don't see it being used that much.
Yeah, Tron is probably used like 1,000 times more than Liquid at this point for USDT. So I'm not trying to shill Tron. I know it's a running gag, but I'm not. I'm just saying that this is what people seem to use if they're not using Ethereum. Most of the people just use Ethereum, though. Okay.
We're getting sad emojis.
That makes sense. Well, what do you want to do? What do you want? If it's USDT, then what are you going to use? Anyways, yeah, I'm going to open it to questions. Oh, by the way, I got a message from BitPain before. I'm just going to ask you if you know what the Ethereum supply is, the Ether supply.
Yeah, I mean, come on, everybody knows what the Ethereum supply is.
True.
I mean, it's a question that is so simple that only a fool would not know what the Ethereum supply is.
True. Okay. Yeah, you're right. I apologize. Okay, I'm gonna open this for questions, And you guys are going to see a raise hand button on the bottom right corner of the screen. You can just click it, and then I'll let you ask. And let's start with Waxwing. Waxwing, go ahead.
There's no sound.
No sound.
Oh,
No,
I don't
can't hear you. Maybe you're muted, or maybe you have the wrong microphone selected. Okay, I'll pick someone else, and then we'll go back to Waxwing. So, MZ.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so I just have an addition. So if you have altcoins or shitcoins on your service, then you provide for your clients, and your clients are able to get rid of them. So maybe that's even a good service for them. So I'm not sure. Maybe it's good what you do.
True. You
Yeah.
buy their shitcoins, so
Yeah.
you're scamming yourself.
But you're helping them build a circular economy, which I think is actually value
Yeah,
building
it's not,
in the
yeah.
longer time. But it's fair enough.
Yeah. So it's not.
It's a way of seeing it.
100% bad. It's not the worst thing. Yeah. Another question: what is like so most of the time I'm used your service without an account, and I think that's a really good thing to don't have an account. So maybe you put in an email address if there's any problem and so on. But what is the benefit to have an account, or why is there an option to have an account? Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of benefits both for the user. So you don't need, same as we ask for an email, so we can email you when something goes wrong. Sometimes it does. Yeah, and with an account, you don't need anything else other than that and a password. Benefits, like you can have the USD account feature, for example. You can, if you're paying on-chain, you can deposit your funds once, and you can purchase whenever you want. We have rewards that are paid out to your account so that you get sats back, which you can use with your next purchase. There's a lot of benefits like that, but at the same time, the accountless is it's how we started, and it's I think always going to be an important part of Bitrefill. Yeah, but yeah, if that answers.
Thank you. Awesome service. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Cool. Let's try Waxwing again. Let's see if this works. I guess not. Unfortunate. Okay, let's see. Pool party. Go ahead.
Right. So just wondering if you have any stats about like percentage of transactions on Lightning versus Bitcoin, and any sort of growth statistics you can share?
It's been like usually it hovers around 5%. I think last couple of weeks it's been going up, probably closer to 7 or so by volume, but it's definitely less than 10% of our traffic that is happening with Lightning.
Cool. Thanks.
Awesome. BTC Kitty.
Hi. So do you get your gift cards directly from the stores, or do you get like resold gift cards? And if it's the latter, how do you protect against fraud since there's no chargeback in Bitcoin?
Yeah, so we don't get them. It's not used gift cards. There's no chargeback risk or anything like that. We get them from like gift card companies. The same as if you imagine, I don't know if you're American, there's a Walgreens that sells gift cards in Iraq. But usually in 7-Eleven or what have you. So the companies that provide that rack with gift cards, like we work with companies like that, but we only buy the gift cards in digital format. So the gift cards are always like.
There's no fraud issues, basically?
No.
Cool.
Awesome. Thanks. Let's see. Next up is Corey.
Hi, are you able to hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Hi, wonderful. Awesome service. I primarily have a question about the Lightning services that you've been offering, and just kind of wanted to pick your brain about, maybe what the next steps are with Lightning.
Ooh.
Kind of what you have in mind.
We have lots of stuff in mind, including on the
Sergey? I think you crashed Sergey.
He doesn't want to answer my question.
He doesn't want to. Yeah, he doesn't want to. Well, it's too bad. It's too bad. He'll probably be back in a minute. For now, you can take selfies, which is a great feature of AltSpace. Just saying. Or, Corey, do you have any joke that you want to share while we're waiting for Sergey to maybe come back? I'll take that as a no.
That will be no joke.
If anyone else has a joke, you can raise your hand, like an Ethereum joke. But we already did the supply thing. I think Waxwing is back. I can. Waxwing, do you want to ask your question? But then there won't be anyone to answer. But you can still ask it. No, but we still can't hear you. No. Well, in that case.
Hello?
Sergey's back. Hey, Sergey.
Yes. So what's happened here was that the sun went down and it became dark in my room, and my headset lost tracking of my head movements.
Oh,
yeah.
Really?
So now we know medium problems. Yeah, so to turn on the lights in the room. We can't see in the dark. So yeah, there was a question about the lighting plans.
Yes.
We have lots of plans, including some plans on the sort of USD related fronts. But other than that, we're going to be doing more of the utility stuff. It's a cool thing in our space that you can build a little thing, and if it's useful and people use it, then it kind of creates all kinds of benefits for you as well. And it's part of our strategy is to like have as much of like people's transactional crypto life circle around us. So expect more utility services like that. Probably more LNURL stuff. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So I think that's our last question. So with that, we're going to end this. Thank you, Sergey, for joining us. This was cool. Very controversial ideas on shitcoins and other stuff. And also thanks, Andrew, for helping with moderating today. And well, yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube or Twitter or something, then remember that we do those every week. And you can join us even if you don't have a VR headset. So you can sign up on recklessvr.com and get emails every weekend for joining those invites. Or you can join Reckless VR on Telegram. We have a cool chat room where we discuss degenerate VR stuff. And Reckless_VR on Twitter. Lots of places to follow us. So after this, we're going to head out to VR chat as usual. I will, in about 20 minutes, we'll start the VR chat room. Sergey, do you have time to maybe jump there too? You can if you want. You don't have to. I recommend it. But you don't have to.
I'll do my best.
And you can until then you can take a break or you can stay here, whatever you want. And yeah, and we'll see you next time. So I'm gonna unmute everyone. So yeah, you have voice again. That's it.
Hey.
Yay.
Hey, Kitty. Hey, MC.
Well, everyone has voice except for X-Wing because I don't know what he did.
I heard him before. He was talking. Now it's not working.
Very sad.
So no X-Wing.